but the divine feminine is actually more perceivable by other members. And what we have here is the divine feminine continually, consistently going on a journey to manifest something that's not coming, because they need to work more in alignment with their self-worth and value. They need to build themselves up from the inside out. They need to learn how to navigate the physical realm, the physical dimension. Okay, they need to know how to be open and receptive to nurturing creativity into the physical through the body, through sensuality, through self-worth and value, basically self-love. So until you have victories, not just making money moves, not just understanding who you are, what's alive in you, about your money, about your health, about your body, about your self-worth and value, nothing's going to move forward. The journey is to go forward right now and expand your horizons, especially here on the earth plane. Now, contrast to this, there is somebody else, probably the institution, the powers that be, trying to expand their horizons through dogma, conditioning, programming, oftentimes through attacks of the mind. Okay, so when the chariot, El Carro, comes out, any of the reverse cards would be enemies. Now, luckily, the El Carro is on our side. This is our side here, male or feminine, for this specific spread. It's upright on our side. So whatever's going on, we'll overcome, we'll have victory. Okay, but we need to mitigate two things, this whole concept and idea, three things, this whole concept and idea of divine masculine, not that it's bad, it's just not helpful to us at this time. And then spiritual beliefs, schools of beliefs. You know, a church is a school of belief. A school is an enclosed circle. A circle is a cable. A cable is the cabal. A cabal is where the control is. If you followed that, great. If you didn't, great. Both are fine. So again, the enemy right now, I don't like to say enemy, but I'm going to do it, is the school of belief, the conditioning, the programming. Also, this concept and idea of the divine masculine. Also, ourselves. We need to, until we have victory, since the Empress is in reverse, it means we're needing self-worth and value. We're needing to build ourselves from the inside out. The Chariot says where you're moving forward, and then opposing the Tower, it would tell you the change to make in order to be most abundant. You will experience hell on earth until you can provide your own. You will experience hell on earth until you can go inside and find what's alive in you. So until you give yourself what you want from the inside out, until you go looking inside of yourself of what you want to perceive outside of yourself, you will not achieve it. And whatever you do achieve will be detrimental in and of its nature. Let me explain. With the Imperatore, the Emperor, in reverse on this clarification card of the Five of Pentacles, look up right. You see those devil horns? Okay. So in reverse, it's actually, it might as well be upright. That means your thoughts, your mind is stripping your reality. It's literally, you're thinking yourself poor. You're thinking yourself into poverty, destitution. It could be physical poverty, you're hungry, physical poverty, material poverty, you can't pay your bills. Ultimately, it is misery loves company. Ultimately, it is, you need to build yourself up from the inside out. You need to erect foundations. You need boundaries. Okay, you need means, mechanisms, and methodologies that you need to establish inside of yourself so that there's some type of stable foundation outside of yourself to build things upon. And you literally, second indicator, need to build yourself up from the inside out because you lack self-worth and value. So it doesn't matter what means, mechanisms, and methodologies you have. Money can't fix money problems. If you pour in the mind, money's not going to help you. It's, you know, love can't fix love problems. If you don't have self-love, no amount of love that somebody gives you is going to make you feel loved. Okay, that kind of idea. All right, spirituality, magic, divine wisdom can't help spiritual problems. If you don't want to live a spiritual life, no amount of spirituality is going to help you. It's just like those people who want magical solutions, they want miracles, but they're not willing to perform miracle technology. What does that mean? Let me translate. Let me break it down for you. The person's hoping, wishing, praying for a miracle, right? But they can't recognize the miracles all around them, that kind of thing. A person's doing a person's hoping for some magical solution, not willing to do magic. What does that mean? If you're hoping, wishing, praying, and you're not prepared to receive, or you don't believe that you will receive, there's no space for that to come in. If you're spending all your time chasing down what is not right for you, you leave no room, no space, no time for what is right for you to catch up to you. Okay. Even if it is trying to catch up to you, because what's for you will not pass you by, it might not catch you in time. You may literally derail yourself because you're focused on something else. I look at that to me as the Herman in reverse. It's a lower grade Herman in reverse. What is a Herman in reverse? You're looking for the answer, you're looking for the answer, you're looking for the answer, again, looking for the answer, and you actually find it. But since it doesn't come in the shape or size that you perceive it to be, you pick it up and you put it down and you keep looking. Another translation, you freeze it out, but it's what you want. So the problem is not looking for the problem. You got to go looking for the problem inside yourself. And you are the problem. Your perspective, your discernment is subpar. It is not adequate for resolution. It's that elder that needs to go back to school. You're no elder of mine. You're not wise enough, or you're not able to perceive the wisdom. You lack the knowledge space, the language structure, the discernment, the decision-making criteria in order to perceive a solution. Okay. So it's a lack of self-wisdom. Okay. So there's this thing here that I'm perceiving. We're going outside and we're looking for things that we need to give ourselves. We're externalizing our locus of control, giving our power away, hoping for somebody else to come into our life and fix it. Whether we know it or not, whether we're consciously making the decision or not, there's wanting, hoping, wishing, praying, yearning, conjuring up some hurting from some wounding from the past because you can't be alone with yourself. You can't tolerate 5 moments, 5 minutes, 5 seconds alone with yourself. You need to distract yourself, null the pain. It's called buffering. When you cannot show up and participate in your own life, you've got to distract yourself with TV, with demon dick, with the whole love concept, with the whole twin flame life mate concept. Instead of being okay being alone for 5 minutes. Sometimes you need to break up with somebody, be alone for 5 minutes so that you can allow space, right? Different concepts and ideas. The nature of the situation here is we're moving on, moving forward. Unfortunately, it will be through crisis and trauma. If there wasn't hell on earth, we're really not ready. Not in this 2019, not on this third dimensional earth. Really not ready. So the obstacle is letting go of the exchange, especially if it was shrouded in illusion. Until we mature and leave behind that naivete. Because look, we have this page of swords, and then where she arrives on her journey, because the pages are the Fool, they start the journey. She arrives at an 8. The 8 of swords, that's a bad portal, honey. Don't open that up. Get some knowledge, get some wisdom. Your wisdom, 8 of swords. Let me translate. Let a Grand Tarot Master translate what that is. 8 of swords. Your knowledge, your wisdom applied to the situation is either too much or too little. Not adequate, not enough, not the appropriate one. It's bringing a knife to a gunfight. It's bringing a gun to a knife fight. Right? It's showing up with the wrong tools for the job. Remember I was talking about Herman in reverse? That's not your elder. The thing you need to learn about, the thing you need to discern about is you. Now, it's not so much in this situation, but I needed to give that concept an idea because it was coming through. So the obstacle is actually over the next 2 months, you need to realize that the thing to confront is the depths of your soul. It's your own shadow. It will happen. So the current focus is going out on the journey to expand, slowly but surely and practically. In order to go from an initiate to an adept, you need expansion. And you still need to do it not from the coulda, shoulda, woulda, oh my gosh, there's this perceived risk and that perceived risk. This is the thing that I have challenges with clients. People come to you and they expect you to make them feel better, and you can, but they need to be willing to do the work. And so that's what I'm seeing here. There's a difference between perceived risk and real risk. A real risk is something where you know the beginning of it and the end of it, and then in between is your plan. Doesn't matter how difficult it is to get there. Where you are now and where you want to be tomorrow, next year, whatever. That's your plan. That's not all the reasons why you can't do what you want to do. That right there, my dear, is your plan. Now, when it's a perceived risk and not a real risk, guess what? No amount of know-how, no amount of planning, no amount of tactic, strategy, and hard work is going to fix that because you don't know where it begins and where it ends. So the obsession, the anxiety, the things you can't fix, the things out of your control, if they make you scared, it means you still need to confront yourself. It means the obstacle is yourself. The moment you can say, yeah, that scares me. I have some needs there. What are they? Let me inventory them. This is what I want, feeling, thinking, and needing. Okay, but here's the real risk. This is where it begins and this is where it ends. This is what I got right here, what I can do right here. This is what I don't know. This is what I can't know. This is what I can't do anything about. Then your risk is real. It's not perceived. It is real. It has a beginning and an end. Then you can do something about it. And when you're investing time, it's not an expense. It's an investment. You don't throw good money after bad. You don't throw good energy after bad. You don't go backwards. And if you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, you better be trying different tactics to get to the same outcome. You don't do the same thing exactly over and over again and expect a different result. What is the scientific method? Well, my dear, is when you can almost predict the outcome through specific means, right? That's why you go to the hermit to get some wisdom, somebody with experience who's done it before, and they can tell you how to arrive at a specified outcome. But you need to know what outcome you want. So if you're looking for love and you go to the hermit and he, she, it, they tells you, first, in order to find love outside of yourself, you need to have that love inside of yourself. People ask me all the time, where's my twin? Where's my lover? Where's my soulmate? Where's my mother? Where's my lover? Right? Well, honey, what you're looking for, it's nowhere outside of you. It's at a higher vibration. Truth, right there, my children. What you are seeking for, if you are tuned into the universe, is seeking you. The universe is conspiring to help you, but it's at a higher vibration. What she say? What you're looking for is looking for you, honey, but it's at a higher vibration. You ain't got to go chasing no nothing down. You need to cultivate that alive within yourself. I was saying the other day, there's two types of people out there, especially the men. I'm not going to single you out, but listen to me. Are you the one who goes chasing down butterflies? Or are you the one who cultivates a garden that will attract every single butterfly they want? Now, I don't chase butterflies, I chase hummingbirds, but butterflies are symbolic of transformation. Hummingbirds are symbolic of angelic entities. I'm going to say it again. Are you the type of person who chases butterflies? Are you the type of person who cultivates a beautiful garden that attracts butterflies? Again, overall situation is moving forward through conflict, moving forward through karma, moving forward through hell on earth. Unfortunately, it will be traumatic until you go through an initiation. This initiation is going to move you into adepthood. But adepthood is to recognize when you're living in hell on earth and when your thoughts, feelings, and emotions are leading you down the path to hell. Good intentions can still lead you to hell. So if you don't grow through what you go through and you respond to what you're going through as if something's happening to you and not for you, you will. In the universe, you don't fail an exam, you just take it again and again and again and again. And the whole thing about the Queen of Pentacles, she's looking back on her path to see where she's come from, to see what she's gone through. Look at this. She's looking back on her path. Her body's facing towards the future, but guess what she's looking to? The past real quick. It's the doses that makes the poison. So if you stumble into a narcissistic situation, detox. Don't experience the same shit just with a different toilet. Go to the bidet. Go to a different house. Same dress, different color, honey. Find a different size, find a different fit, find a different cut. Realize that the common denominator is you. Ask yourself, what's the inciting incident here? What's the blinding flash of the obvious? I'm looking everywhere for the answer. I'm looking everywhere to point the blame. Have I looked at myself too? Maybe or maybe not it's you, honey, but you got to ask the question at least. Am I right? Of course. Of course I am. Over the next 2 months, there will be endings. You better make sure those endings are transformations. The focus here is going on the journey of self-initiation, going on the journey of expansion, going on the journey to confront the thoughts, concepts, ideas, your illegitimate logic, which would stem from the conditions and programmings. So if everything is happening to you, honey, therein lies the problem. You're looking outside of yourself for answers, expecting circumstances outside to change. My dear, don't come to me talking about your problems if you're not getting in the game to win. I cannot fight for you harder than you're fighting for yourself. A person with self-worth and value can look at themselves and say, okay, this needs to be detoxed. I'm not going to contribute to this anymore. A person who's living outside of themselves is a victim. Again, you can be victimized, but being a victim is a choice. Victimization happens to everyone. It's called source wounding. Falling out of somebody's uterus, you're a victim. You've got stuck in the earth realm for 70, 80 years. Victimization starts from the jump. The moment you take your first breath, oops, I incarnated out of the spiritual. Oops, here's some source wounding. Oops, gotta find some strength, courage, and wisdom to oops, have some progress here, expand my vibration, do some self-initiation so I can become an adept and move on, move forward, leaving something behind. Chariot, always, always. What are you leaving behind? Trauma, destruction, dereliction. Something's got to break you out of the devil. The tower is the very next step from the devil. Okay, so the focus here is self-initiation. You got to look at, you got to detox. See, the hermit, l'elefante in reverse, is when you are removing, rescinding, separating, divesting from an agreement. A belief is an agreement with your higher self for what you see in the physical. What you perceive manifests, because that's where your attention goes. Energy goes where attention flows, honey. You don't like something, don't focus on it. People keep saying, driving down the road, don't get an accident, don't get an accident, don't get an accident, don't get an accident. What do you think the universe is hearing? Accident, 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 collision. What does that manifest, honey? Hell on earth. That's what that is. Hell on earth, oppression. Instead, say, get home safely. Don't cheat on me, don't cheat on me, don't cheat on me, don't cheat on me, versus trust, fidelity, keeping agreements. Energy goes where attention flows. And when you're focused on everything outside of you that you have no control over, what is going on? You don't work on another person, you work on yourself. You don't work on another person, you work on the relationship. But the relationship isn't giving you what you need. Get your needs met, honey, somewhere else. If you're waiting on somebody to give you love, isn't that the point? A karmic relationship is karmic because somebody lacks self-worth and value, or self-courage and wisdom to get up from the table when love's no longer being served. Soulmate relationships only work with self-worth and value. Soulmate relationships, you will attract what you are. You will attract what is alive in you. And let me tell you something else, my dear. Here's how it works. Wherever your time goes, it's whatever manifests in your life. And I'm going to tell you what your priorities are. It's what you're spending your time on. So if you're spending your time thinking about somebody else, you've made them a priority over yourself. You don't love on somebody for what they give you. You love on somebody for what it gives you. You're not in a relationship for what somebody gives you. You're in a relationship for how it elevates your life. You contribute to the relationship, you don't contribute to the person. And if your relationship with that person is depleting you, you leave the relationship. You can love that person forever. That person could be a rapist, could be a murderer, and you can still love them. And if that doesn't make sense to you, you're not ready. The spiritual is the fifth dimension and above. In the fifth dimension, the get-go. Step number one, basic for the spiritual dimension. You have to be able to live in divine truth. That means you have to hold two opposing, contradictory concepts in the mind at the same time, and they need to reconcile. There's no living in the spiritual without alignment. If you can't look at a person who's fucking up and love them from a place of compassion, you ain't ready. But you cannot look at yourself and separate the person from the behavior, the desire from the experience. You are not ready. You are in reverse, my dear. He is in reverse, my dear. The Hierophant in reverse, my dear. Are you really going to yoke yourself to something that rips the soul out of you? Are you going to unionize yourself to something that depletes the ashe of your spirit, that steals your light? With this prince, with this knight, it means somebody is ridden by something intentionally dark. The Knight of Swords, that's intentional evil, not accidental. The sacrifice here, again, get up from the table when love's no longer being served. Somebody comes into your life to teach you something. If you learn it and you're still doing your work and all of a sudden life starts repelling you away from that person, you can sit there and reminisce about all the experience you had and how the universe put you together. It doesn't have to be a person. It could be a place. It could be a thing. Girlfriend, let me tell you something. If you are building your vibration, let me tell you how it works. What you attract into your life, you will eventually repel. If your vibration keeps getting higher and theirs keeps staying the same. If things around you are getting better, and by definition, you are staying the same, in effect, you're actually getting worse because everything around you is getting better and you're staying the same. So it's the gap is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. For a woman, she's normally getting better. You will if you're spiritual, you will come to outgrow everything and everyone that you love. So if you can't spend time alone, you are fucked royally. What is fucked? Let's break that down. It is the actualization in the event of, I'm hearing the word porn. Fornication. Fornication is to make something bad. It talks about the horns. It talks about inverting something pure into something dark, which becomes a vessel for evil. What is evil? Evil is a manifestation of negativity in the universe. It is the inversion of life. It's when you're living backwards in the dark. Also, if you're going on the journey incorporating ascension, what's going to happen? Well, girlfriend, when you're turning a bright light on in a dark room, guess what? The roaches run back to the corners. Sometimes your light is going to make the demon inside of these people react. If you are ascending, guess what? You're going to have knockdown, drag out conflicts. It's part of the game. So stop worrying about the conflict. Let you know that there's a time to detox. Don't worry about it, because the evolving situation is going to continue to arrive at doors which are finally closed, where they won't open. And you need to like that. You need to trust that. You need to love that. because it's called course correction. Course correction. All right. Because that was that channel. It was a little harsh there for me. All right. So release. If you keep working on your vibration, you'll come to a door, it'll be closed. Release. You're not going to be able to become enlightened without continually releasing. The more light, the more things get left behind in the previous shadows. The brighter the light, the more needs to hide in the shadow. And shadow can't exist without light. So if you're in your shadow, go towards the light. And guess what? Sometimes you have to leave things behind. The hardest thing for a woman when she's going on her path and journey is the people and the things that she needs to leave behind. The hardest thing for a man when he's going on his journey is all the things he can't do. You can't control this, you can't control that. This is out of your power, that's out of your power, and you need to accept it. It's part of your journey. It's part of your ascension. It's part of your initialization. It's part of your initiation. So let us go again. So now I'm going to get into the nitty gritty of this karmic relationship stuff. I'll do one for the true twin flames. You're just going to have to wait. And by the way, if you're going to tune out, check out. There is a flash sale going on. Link is in the show notes. The coupon code is I love myself too. All one word, all spelled out, TOO. Okay, so what I was saying before is thoroughly true, and we're going to get down into it. So if you need to take a minute break, okay, go for it. Because honey, darling, sweetie child, this is going to be a doozy. So we're going to be using the Tarot of the Erotica, and it is adults. So for the next 15 minutes or so, adults only, 18 and over. Some jurisdictions, 21 and over. So the Imperatore come out in reverse. I don't need to use reversals here. I have the Imperatore, the Empress, but they're both, this one's going to count. We have Il Justizio, the Judgment, La Papessa, the High Priestess, the Hierophante, La Papa, the Hierophant. We have La Peso, that is in reverse, but I always put it that way. That is the Hangman. Gli Amanti, that's the Lovers. The Magician, that's Il Vegetto. Il Mondo, the World. And the Moon, La Luna. On the bottom of the deck, we have La Stella. That's the shared energy. So there's not a lot of karma here, but there is a need to wake up, wake free. So there needs to be an aha moment. So in the context of this being a karmic relationship, first thing you would need to realize is when things call you to grow and expand, great. And oftentimes when you come into a relationship and it's not the right one, you should know within 3 months. And they're always going to want you more than you really need to want them. So, and I'm seeing here that for the females, the standards are going to be higher than for the males. And I don't mean it in a derogatory term. I'm hearing the words broken females. And I'm hearing recognition. So the nature of the situation is that the spirits will work for you to align with whatever you need to align with. And definitely that self-worth and value. The answer will change when your feelings change, not when the facts change. You have all the facts. The facts are pretty clear. And even if the facts aren't clear, the fact that the facts aren't clear is a fact. No answer is still an answer. No action is still an action. So if you don't have your standards, if you don't have your boundaries, if you don't have your self-worth and value, that's when you get trapped up. That's when you get caught up. Over the next 3 months, there should be some aha moments. Your higher self should make a final decision about who you are and what's alive in you, according to how willing you are to build that outside of yourself. See, changes in your thoughts lead to changes in your actions. Changes in your action leads to changes in your results. Changes in results leads to changes in energy. Changes into energy leads to change in reality. Okay, it all starts with a shift in your belief. And it won't come if you don't have self-worth and value. If you don't love yourself, you're going to be looking outside for answers that you need to give yourself. The fact that something's not clear and somebody can't provide an answer from the jump, or can't say, hey, honey, I don't have the time to talk about this. I don't have the spoons to talk about this. I'm not in the place to talk about this. Let's talk about it tonight. Let's talk about it tomorrow. Give me a couple of days. Let's talk about it on Thursday. If they can't say that to you, that is an answer. Chasing around, running around, changing subjects and all of that, that is an answer. Sometimes a two-source situation is this, that. You're in the dark, somebody's chosen to leave you in the dark, and you advocated for your needs, saying you needed to know something, you needed to feel something, and they ain't helping you with that. That is an answer. The obstacle here is, yes, we got some love. Somebody's willing to give you some good, stable sex. Somebody's willing to give you some good talking, some good feelings, some good showing up momentarily. But the perspective here is, if you're not gaining clarity, intellect, reasoning, and communication about the different perspective, whatever you need to do to grow into the new, bigger, better perspective, that's a problem. So if ever there's a moment, because she's going on the journey and she arrives at, listen, when the gate opens up is when you have clarity. If somebody can't provide clarity, that is something. Don't sit there not knowing, waiting for what you want to see to happen. If somebody doesn't communicate why it's not happening, when it's going to happen, or what needs to happen for it to happen, pay attention. People tell you who they are the first time. Believe them. The focus here is this completion. So you're holding on thinking that you don't want to go look for it somewhere else. And the reality is they're very clearly showing you that they're there for low basal reasons. If somebody's not going to help you confront what's scary, confront what you don't know, they're not there for you. They're there for sex. And this, okay, the moon and the moon and the Knight of, it's funny because we had the Knight of Swords before and now we have the Knight of Wands. That tells me that somebody's there for sex. They may be lying to you. They may be manipulating your emotions. There may be previous lifetime soul bonds, karma sneaking up from a previous lifetime. Because the obstacle here is to know that a union with somebody else comes from a union with the self, and that you do have options. So if love's not being served, you can manifest your options somewhere else. Okay. The evolving situation here is knowing that you can be stable in love, but you need to give towards somebody that knows who they are and knows what they want. Ladies, men, pretty much you should know who you are and what you want, because then she could tell you, okay, I want to support you in that. Let's build a life together with us having this shared goal. Okay. It is always the receptive energy who's going to provide you balance. You as the active energy, you need to provide stability, meaning what direction are you heading in? And this person that you're unifying yourself with, also known as yoking, in the Hindu culture, it would be called yukti. So why yukti? Why yoke yourself to something that's unclear? Are you really going to sit there and give your all to something that you don't ever know how it's going to manifest? It's okay to support somebody that's not where they want to be, but if they don't know where they want to be, how are you going to support them in getting there? Men, if you know where you are and a person doesn't know who they are, how are you to know that they're not going to outgrow you? How are you to know they're not going to change their mind? It is illogical to choose a female partner who doesn't know who she is. She could wake up tomorrow a different person. She could wake up tomorrow wanting bigger and brighter and better than what you're offering her. Are you really going to change who you are and what you want as a man? Ladies, if a man doesn't know what he wants out of life, how are you supposed to support him getting there? That's the secret. The only thing to do other than that is work on your own self-worth and value, work on your own strength, courage, and wisdom. The rest will work itself out. Those are the only two things you need. Clarity on who you are, clarity on what you want, and then you need to work on yourself, self-worth and value, self-respect. Nothing else is necessary. It's not about the money. It's not about this. It's not about that. Yeah, maybe those things are the things you measure to know that the core components are met. Know who you are, know what you want. If a person has plans, yeah, you can use money to measure that. But you also use self-respect, self-worth, and value to measure those things too. So it'll come together if you're willing to do your healing. Self-worth and value will lead to hope, faith, and optimism. And the hope, faith, and optimism won't put you in the star reverse, on the wrong path, not being guided properly because you don't know yourself enough to trust yourself enough to listen to your own internal guidance system. That's the star in reverse. So this is the karmic love. Let's go look at the divine love now. And again, I know we love those cards. We haven't used them in a long time, but that's the Tarot of the Erotica. Now let's look at the divine love. Okay, so we got that Knight of Swords again. In the focus. I don't know if that's really it. I'm sorry, that's not enough clarity. There we go. See, this is like echoing what I was saying yesterday, a few moments ago. See, here it's saying that the feminine is going to be a novice. They're going to be just starting something out themselves, but they will go through an initiation of the heart chakra. They will drive things forward. They will move through stasis. And again, it's through having some type of ambition inside. Oh, I'm sorry. Il Forza, the strength card, La Forza. La Morte, the death card. La Luna, the moon card. Gli Amanti, the lover's card. Il Baggetto, the magician. Il Sole, the sun card. Il Mondo, the world card. La Ruota, the wheel. Il Giustizia, La Giustizia, the justice. Il Torre, the tower. Again, the star card is the combined energy. So the lovers are out and the sun card is out. So it can be twins. It's usually somebody who's in the same soul group. The reason I know they might be twins, because there's alternatives. So when you really want to go deep into the twin flame mysteries, you really need to know a couple of things. If the sun card has two people on it, it's a different story. So you first meet the lovers in the lower world, and it's when we have the recognition, it's called contact, and that's when you make a choice. And then after you make that choice, it should be the sun card. Okay. Now the death card is here, but not the devil card. So the beginning situation or the overall situation is there's something for the divine feminine to confront, She needs to go on a journey through the physical. Okay. And for her or them, male or female, divine feminine is really more the receptive part, and divine masculine is more of the active. And for the real twin flames, you could mix the gender. It's for the karmic ones, you need to keep the gender, because again, until you have self-worth and value and knowledge of the self, you really can't go outside of that, especially in the lower realms here. So the obstacle for the feminine is over the next 2 months, there should be some type of completion, and she should be leaving the darkness, going into the light, I'm hearing. And then the focus for them would be to expand. Now, there will be expansion, but according to self-worth and value, because the sacrifice to make here is to know that there's options and to choose which one really aligns with their authentic self. Again, that will require knowing the self. And somebody going on a journey through the physical, that's the page. If they confront what's alive in them and learn the eternity of the soul, that'll happen. Now, for the masculine, the overall situation is transformation through their authentic self. So until they learn their soul's ambitions, they're not going to be able to do anything, because the obstacle here is going on a journey to their eternal spirit. They need to lighten their load. They need to get to that effervescent place where their spirit and their soul is dancing inside their body. Well, the focus for them should be insight, and there will be inciting insight. They're going to have to grow, expand, drive life forward according to intellect, reasoning, communication. What feels good? What aligns? Does this align with your spirit? 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 Continuing course correcting. There's going to be a aha moment. Okay, shift that around. Aha moment. Okay, shift this around. Okay, aha moment. Okay, incorporate this into my life. Aha moment. Okay, no, this is who I really am. Okay, aha moment. Not staying stuck, staying stagnant. Whenever a little bit of devilishness comes up, that can happen in a twin flame situation. But see, in the twin flame situation, they don't stay there. They do not cosign BS. They do not cosign karma. They do not stay stagnant. It's okay to arrive at a little bit of a tough spot, but if you can't navigate out of it, that's not a twin flame situation. That's a karmic one. Where you stay in the dysfunction, that's definitely karmic. A twin flame can have conflict, but they do not stay in dysfunction. A true, legitimate, bona fide twin flame connection won't even tolerate dysfunction for more than 3 days. Literally, on the 4th day, there will be an explosion, so much so that it separates. So the sacrifice to make here is for when energy is coming at emotion, you need to mitigate those circumstances. Keep moving energy through. A lot of different things are going to come out to play, and those are going to be your stepping stones. Wheel of Fortune and the Eight of Wands. You can think of the Eight of Wands as Cupid's arrow, but it's also when energy gets sent at you, you need to mitigate that. Now, the Wheel of Fortune is like literally when all the different entities, spirits, powers that be come out and take a look at a situation. Because the evolving situation is that you can move into the 11-11. You have the Four of Wands here. That's the 11-11 card. And that's the Amante. So this is the true twins here. And we do have them. It's not the divine masculine, divine feminine. It's the eternal divine masculine, feminine stepping into the physical. So again, the overall situation is transformation through confronting what's alive, the willingness to go down the journey to manifest soul's ambitions. Okay, the queen is the soul, the king is the spirit. The moon is the queen, that's your soul, that's where your spirit lives. The king is the actual spirit, that's the sun. Okay, now the spirit is an emanation of the soul. What does that mean? The soul has an individualization. Every soul has a spirit, not every spirit has a soul. I'll put it that way and move on. The obstacle here is that you'll need to complete illumination, enlightenment. You'll need to complete effervescence, expansion, vitality, renewal. You'll need to keep going towards that or nothing. It won't come together. So the focus is aligning through truth. When truth comes out, don't become resistant, averse to it. Incorporate it and level up. Everything that's happening is to upgrade you. If you let it downgrade you, or if you block it, you will be the downgrade. So that means that the sacrifice to make is your mind, your thoughts, your consciousness, your experience, your authentic self will bring more and more and more. You're going to keep having to get to the higher vibration. And if you stand there and stay stuck, it won't come together. The evolving situation is once you have strength, courage, and wisdom, you will move into a twin flame union. Okay. Okay, so back to the thought, and we're going to do the life purpose, mission, karma, destiny now. Counseling. You heal with kind words, wise advice, and an empathetic ear. Now, this is on the grounds of, supporting others through words, supporting others through schools of belief, models. I'm hearing the word models. And it'll be leadership. You step in front because you can take charge of the situation. You spot it because you got it. So if you're the one with the recognition, if you're the witness with the recognition, you need to be the one to take charge of the situation. An artist. So you may be a singer, you may be a writer, you may be a light worker, someone who supports with words. I'm not saying energy healing here, anything of that nature. I'm saying people who use books, use written word, use knowledge, or use art. Art is multitudinous. It could be music, it could be actual paintings. You use all those things to provide empathetic ears. You might also have spiritual children, I'm hearing. Now, this is on the grounds of being on the right path. So people coming to you, great. If you're the kind of vibration where babies and cats are attracted to you and birds come to you all the time, it's a good sign. Counseling, you heal with kind words, wise advice, and an empathetic ear. People frequently reveal their deepest secrets and worries to you because you are a natural counselor who channels wise advice and kind support. This card comes as a counselor for you, advising you to choose a career path involving this type of work. Since you're already performing the functions of a counselor, you might as well receive remuneration for it. So, emotional fulfillment and money, okay? The angels can support any need or desire you may have for classes that will teach you skills to learn to be a proper listener, whether it's licensure or otherwise. Your counseling path can be along the lines of life coaching, where you help clients organize their goals and intentions into achievable steps. Or you can blend in spirituality through traditional pastoral counseling or other types of counseling, more to the alternative path of giving readings, okay? So your work could also involve writing or teaching. The main point is that this life purpose uses words as a healing modality. So whatever you're doing, whether you're a coach, a counselor, a therapist, or a reader, okay, it's a healing modality through words, empathy, okay? Now, with proper training, you are highly qualified to conduct counseling work, whatever capacity. Again, therapist, life coach, reader, etc. Even an art therapist. So the person who did the best healing for me was a person who taught me how to knit, and we would sit down every week and we would learn different stitches and stuff. And I swear to gosh, it was like going to the hairdresser every week, just unload. I felt so much lighter. So with proper training, you're highly qualified to conduct counseling work. Please do not think that your own life needs to be perfect before you can help others. All counselors simply have their ego issues, also have their ego issues and imperfections. The point isn't whether or not you have these character and life quirks, it is what you do with them that counts. As long as you can listen to your clients' feelings or patients with an open mind and open heart, their needs will be served. Oftentimes, the best counselor is just somebody who can say, hey, I went through that a few years ago, and this is what helped me. Boom, Data. There you go. Your counselor. Now, let's see what's going on here. So we can return to the reversals. Ooh, okay, so the deck just cut itself. Okay, so we have the wheel in the combined issue, the wheel of fortune. So spend time focusing on what it is you're going to do with your life, your mission, purpose, soul, karma, destiny, your legacy. How do you do your purpose? Well, you use your gift to be of service. That's how you live at purpose. And when you do that, everything else will click into place. Because what's delayed is endings, transformations. That's necessary. What's delayed is coming into union. What's delayed is confronting your shadow. What's delayed is this aha moment, this insight, this intellect wisdom that you need in order to have everything else reconcile. So, you know, the starting journey here is that you need to go on a journey of spiritual beliefs. I'm using the karmic tableau from the last one. The reason being is a lot of people can't find twin flame for two reasons. First of all, the twin flame is in the spiritual, and you'll never have a high enough vibration to bring that out of the spiritual into the physical if you're spending all your time chasing down karmic love and not doing your soul purpose. If you're not living your soul purpose, don't anticipate twin flame. You'll have a false twin flame come in to push you into your soul purpose, and then oftentimes that will be to help others with their false twin flame. So I'm glad that I forgot to change the tableau. That's a really key indicator. And the goddess forced me to the table today. I would have did this tomorrow. I'm hungry. Mama wants to eat. I have some vegan sausage I just bought. I'm so eager to taste it. I know it's good. I had some time ago. So, you know, I'm kind of mad that I'm having to work, but I can see why. And I'm glad I'm not doing coaching on a full stomach, because this is intense energy. And I'm going to need some grounding after the fact, not before the fact. Okay. So the overall situation here is that we're going to need to go on a journey towards a spiritual belief. We need to actually find a new spirituality. So a new path, a new lineage, a new baptism, a new ritual, a new journey of spiritual beliefs. And it will be according to your soul's ambition. So a lot of times this will be people starting life coaching, starting becoming a light worker. That's here. And then the obstacle here is that there's things you can't share. There's things going on that you can't be open about. So you can't help others until you go through it too. A lot of times you can't help everybody that you want to help. Really what's going on is the thing you went 2, 3, 4, 5 months ago, you're going to be helping people go through today. So over the last 2 months, you should have been going through some ending transition. It should have been a harsh ending. Sometimes you have to realize that letting go is the biggest tool you have. Something's already ended and you haven't let it go. So when you do come out of that over the next 2 months, that's what you're going to be helping people go through. Whatever you went through, you'll be helping people go through. Okay. Your test will become your testimony. Your mess right now, or your mess over the last 2 months, will become your message within the next 2 months. You're not out of that cycle yet, or you're out of that cycle probably, but you don't see it. You haven't, okay, that went up right. You haven't got the wisdom yet. Okay, so that's good. We got that message transcribed. So the focus right now should be, what is the bigger, brighter, better horizons? Broadening your horizons. You've just gone through some type of disappointment, and now you've been able to turn around and face towards the future. It might have been a breakup, a letdown. Something might have been stripped or ripped out away from you, probably from the heart too. You might have had to be forced into some type of reckoning, some type of reality. So you might just have gotten off of cloud 9. You should have left with your self-worth and value. So intellect, clarity, reasoning, communication, expansion through conflict, arguments, breakdowns, and breakthroughs, oftentimes arguing with former relationship partners. Now, you probably were the one being broken up with or left. Somebody probably ghosted you, left you behind. And instead of waiting, holding on, hoping, wishing, praying, conjuring up some yearning, some hurting from the past, because you don't have the closure, you're still feeling nostalgic. Now you're moving forward with your strength, courage, and wisdom, with your self-worth and value. Why is that? Well, intellect, reasoning, communication. What do you know about you? What do you know today? What's alive in you today that you didn't have over the last 2 months, that you didn't have over the last 3 months, huh? The sacrifice here is getting up from the table when love's no longer being served. realizing that you're outgrowing people, places, and things, realizing that you have to confront new energy, choosing to go somewhere new, choosing to move to higher ground. When you can confront the unknown by going on, picking up, and keeping it moving, that's when you're ready. So the chariot rules all the knights. So when love's no longer being served, getting it from the table when love's no longer being served is going to broaden your horizons. Whenever this chariot and the strength card are coming out, is broadening your horizons. From the heart, you can still be a heart-centered individual, but understand when you're giving your love to something, some place, some person, and it's not being reciprocated back in whatever way that is, not your standards, but if the love's not being received and reflected back to you in whatever way they do it, you can't work with that. And see, that's it. This is a breakdown, but not losing your foundation. You still have a twin. You still work with spirit. You can bring this twin into the physical. Unfortunately, you got to go somewhere else. You got to move forward, leaving something behind. You can't take everything with you. Okay, so that's this here. Let's read the sermon. Limitless is out for whatever reason, so we're going to use it as a clarifier. Oh, I should have cut the deck right there. Oops. Hope. Limitless hope. Hope limitless. Transformation on the grounds of compassion, celestial teacher, emotions, and strength. Okay, let's read this. I'm going to read Hope, page 16. Cigarettes and chocolate milk, these are just a couple of my cravings. Everything that seems I like is a little bit harmful for me. So some people are glutton for punishment, or they can't let go. So we're reading from Nadia Anastasia's Cosmic Activation Cards from the Soul. We'll be reading Hope from page 53. Behind the passing dark clouds, the sun still shines bright. Prayer. Holy Spirit, guide me to see through this situation with deeper clarity, love, and understanding. This is coming from your womb, your sacral chakra. That's your place in the world. Okay, beloved. Feeling overwhelmed, disconnected, afraid, and defeated are a few of the symptoms you can experience when passing through an emotional storm. All is not as it seems. The passing storm will uncover suppressed emotional energy that is in need of clearing and balancing. As challenging as it may seem, see the passing gray clouds as an opportunity to grow, to learn, to heal, and to transform limiting behavioral patterns and beliefs. It is not about staying positive through the storm. It is about understanding and truly seeing the imbalances and wounds within you that attract this energy into your space. Clouds do pass and will continue to pass until you learn to truly see the underlying message and lesson. Only then will you transcend the fear and irritability of these challenging cycles. Once you're able to understand your magnetic connection to these challenges that surround you and heal those imbalances with love, storms will cease to affect you as they once did. For now, there is stillness and hope in knowing that the sun still shines bright behind the passing dark clouds. It is then, through this renewed clarity, inner knowing, and strength, that you will be able to manifest a life of choice. For no more will you see passing storms as a destructive force to be reckoned with, but rather an opportunity to evolve to higher states of conscious understanding. It is through this act alone you are to be reborn to a world of wondrous manifestations and fulfilled dreams. Like I was saying, you grow through what you go through. If you're getting bigger, brighter, and better, if you're increasing your vibration, if you're attracting something initially and eventually you start repelling it, it means you grew through it. Your vibration got bigger, brighter, and better. All of a sudden you're having a conflict. No, it's your life letting you know that something's no longer working. If it resists, what you resist persists. So if it's not a flow, let it go. If it's not a flow, it's not a go. If you keep fighting to hold on to it, that's going to be a problem. Sometimes you got to transform. You are limitless. You don't have to hold on to what's not for you. Okay. It's been an honor and a pleasure to serve you. Thank you for allowing me the privilege to do so. If you'd like me to do this for you, you can book a divine partnership assessment. I will look at it as you with your twin, whether your twin's in the physical or the spiritual. That special is going to the 22nd of June. The coupon code is I love myself too, all one word, all spelled out. The link is in the show notes. Until we meet again, until we read again, namaste, dandavat, and ashe. Take good care of yourself. Very, 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 very good care of yourself. Bye, lovies. See you later. Bye bye.